Everyone, it's Andy here, and in today's video, I'm just going to talk a little bit about what's happening with the IRS payments. The IRS issued their official refund processing status, so I'll talk about that. I'll also talk about the PATH Act and the advanced and additional child tax credit. There is some confusion, and some people are saying they've already received their refunds if they have the child tax credit. So I'll talk about a potential reason why this is happening. And finally, I'm also going to talk about calling the IRS. I know a lot of people are stressed about their refund and how they should contact and when they should contact the IRS. So I'll touch on that briefly. As always, if you like what you see here, please hit the like button, and you can always subscribe to keep getting tax videos through the rest of this tax season. So just quickly touching on what the IRS just released. This is from the irs.gov website. You can see the link over there. You can see the IRS has now officially started processing refunds. So I know a lot of people are stressed that refunds, when's my refund? So the good news is IRS has processed refunds as of February 4th, and this will update every week, and I'll post updates every week as well, and you can subscribe to get those. But basically, the IRS has now received as of February 4th about 16.685 million refunds, tax returns, and of those have processed about 13 million. So it's still a good sign that things are being processed, and people are seeing WMR and IRS to go up. But still, this is only about 10% of the 116 million returns expected this tax season. So it's still early in the tax season, but at least we know that the IRS is processing. I 100% acknowledge that it's very slow. People are still getting messages, especially early filers who filed even before the start of tax season, that their return could take longer than the standard 21 days. But the good news is the IRS is processing refunds. And you can see here, they've processed about 4.3 million refunds. So again, that's about 25% of the returns they received. And to date, the average refund is about 2,200. And I'm not surprised it's a bit lower. I think this number will increase as more earned income tax credit, which is much larger this year, gets factored in. A lot of people got lower refunds because of the child tax credit is already paid 50% in advance last year. So this slide is just a good sign that the IRS is processing it. This is the official information. So, people who have received refunds, it's true. A lot of simple returns have already got their refunds, not claiming the earned income tax credit, those kind of things. But the good news is about 10% of the refunds returns have been submitted and processing. But there's still a long way to go based on the 160 million that are expected to come. And like I said, I'll keep posting updates. So please hit the subscribe button to keep getting those updates as well. Speaking of refunds and people stressed about finding out about their refund, contacting the IRS is not easy. As we know, it's challenging to get through to a live agent. And just to give you some context, this came from Barron's. The IRS had 16,000 workers fielding about 240 million calls last tax season. So if you look at the numbers, that's about 15,000 calls per agent. Now I know all calls, some are resolved automatically, some are multiple calls, but just to give you context why it's so difficult to get through, the sheer volume of calls during tax season is crazy. And this is a known issue. Even before the pandemic, it was about 35% to get a live agent, which is, high by the standards in the last tax year, even this tax year. But the good news is the IRS is adding more people, 1,200. I mean, they have budget constraints. The pandemic shortages have caused issues. It's all well documented in the media. But to give you context, I mean, the sheer volume of calls, because of all the new tax legislation, advanced payment of credits, changes to tax laws, it is a lot of work for the IRS. They have old systems, they have budget limitations, they haven't been able to upgrade. So if you're not getting through to someone, just understand this is why. And it's just surely because of the volume divided by the number of people with old systems. It's not a great combination for delays that I expect to keep persisting this tax season, unfortunately. But one thing I can tell you about contacting the IRS tips, and I see a lot of comments and things at work. You should be careful that when you contact the IRS, don't do it before 21 days since your return was filed and accepted. And accepted is the status in your Where's My Refund or IRS to Go app. And this applies even for state refunds to your local state agency. Normally, you want to give them some time to receive the refund, process it, and the IRS says wait 21 or more days until you've received it if you haven't got a message. There's also an option, sometimes the IRS will process your return sooner than 21 days, and they'll probably want some more information, or they'll specifically tell you to contact the IRS. Again, wait for the official communication. Please avoid scammers and fraudsters trying to make you call them. For example, the IRS has got a hold or there's issues. That's all fake. There's a lot of fraud that goes on, billions a year lost to fraudsters. you should receive an official notification with why the IRS wants you to call them. They'll give you numbers. Make sure you verify the agent you're talking to as well. But don't call the IRS unless you're being told or it's been more than 21 days. Importantly here, do not just file a second tax return if you've made mistakes or you feel that another income tax return form came in, your employer's wages or something you missed. Wait for a notice with more details, and potentially you can file an amended return after that. This will delay your refund, no doubt, but just don't keep submitting multiple tax returns. That does not help things. The IRS will look at them as separate items, and it'll just delay your return because it'll flag it as duplicate return. So wait for the IRS to notify you if you've made a mistake. Most times mistakes are not on purpose. They're just something you missed or something you forgot to report. Just wait for the IRS to get back to you. And what I've found is, the IRS has several numbers. 1040 is their main line. They're open between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. based on your time zone. But I found that the best times to call them are before 9 a.m. in the morning and on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Not that, this will improve it drastically, but even if you can improve the odds by a few percentage points of getting through to a live agent, this is the time. Again, call them after they've had time to process a return and you have an updated status on WMR, IRS to go, or even check your transcript like I've covered in some earlier videos. The last topic I want to talk about, which I've had some recent videos on as well, is the PATH Act. So a lot of folks are seeing this message that because they've claimed the earned income tax credit or the additional child tax credit, the entire refund is held. This is a law to prevent fraud and to allow the IRS to do additional identity checks. It's not something the IRS is doing because of their backlog or system processing issues, which is affecting other returns. This is actually a legal requirement by the IRS. So if you get this message, which a lot of people are, you get tax topic 152, which is just general processing guidelines. I've got another video talks very specifically about the PATH Act to have a look at that. But I have been hearing there are some folks that are getting paid their refunds even if they're claiming the child tax credit. And there could be some validity to this. I mean, I'm not 100% sure. I can't say. The IRS is not exactly publishing this openly. But just to recap, the child tax credit was expanded under the American Rescue Plan Act, the Biden plan last year. So expanded it to make it bigger and made the entire credit refundable, which means you can get it paid even if you don't owe tax. Normally, this was in the past, the additional, before 2021, the ACTC, additional child credit, and it's important, the word additional here, it does have some meaning here. It was only limited to $1,400 per child. So if you didn't owe taxes, the only part that was refundable to you was $1,400. The child tax credit was also only $2,000, so it was a bit smaller. So with the new RCTC, the refundable tax credit, which was paid in advance 50% last year, it sort of made the entire thing refundable, which means a lot of people could get it even if they didn't owe taxes, which was a big deal. And this ACTC continues, for people who are abroad or taxpayers who don't have a home in the US. Those are some of the rules. But so this is a lot. But the thing is, in the PATH Act, it very clearly says there that the IRS must wait till February 15 for early filers claiming the ACTC or the EITC. Now, the key point is here, the ACTC. So if it's purely referring to the additional child tax credit, this could be why that folks who are just claiming the regular or refundable child tax credit that was introduced last year may not be subject to the PATH Act. Now, I don't know if this is a fact, but I am seeing lots of comments on my previous videos that people have got the refund payment if they only had the child tax credit and not the earned income tax credit. The earned income tax credit should start paying mid to late February. By March 1st is when the IRS is saying it'll be paid, and they should be updating this by in the next few days with a major update for what's happening with the PATH Act. But this could be a reason why the child tax credit is actually being processed, because it may not be subject to PATH. If anyone has thoughts or comments on this, please leave a comment before, because the ACTC technically is a different tax than the refundable child tax credit that was expanded under ARPA. Again, I'm not a professional. All content covered in this channel is informational and you should not be construed as tax advice or official information. Please, talk to a tax professional. Everyone's situation is unique, and so I don't want to mislead you, but just trying to put my thoughts on some comments I'm seeing here. Thanks a lot, everyone. I'll catch up with you again in the next few days. Bye.